New Jarvis video on
Hello
TikTok
and welcome
Gurus.
back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. And today we're talking about podcasts on TikTok. You know the kind where a guy says things into a microphone with a lot of confidence, just throws it out there for the algorithm to nom 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 nom. So this clip has been going around. And my friend sent it to me, and I have not watched it yet. It's from someone named Sebastian Escada. From what I've heard, Sebastian here says some pretty outlandish stuff, and I'll be the judge of that.
If you're a guy in your 20s and you don't have a Lamborghini, you should actually sit down and have like a serious discussion with yourself as to why you don't have a Lambo.
Yep. Okay. First of all, the guy in the background going,
I
yep.
love that guy.
As if he didn't just say something ridiculous. If you're a guy in your 20s, you should have a serious, and you don't have a Lambo, you should sit down, preferably in your Lambo. But since you don't have one, you've got to sit down in like a regular car or chair and have a serious discussion with yourself about why you do not own a Lamborghini. A discussion like, why don't you have a Lamborghini? I don't want one. Or,
Boo.
why don't you have a Lamborghini?
Toy.
I cannot afford a Lamborghini. These
Double
are the types
boo,
of discussions you
lame.
can have with yourself. Subscribe for more discussions. Is this even a Lamborghini? I don't know what kind of car this is. I'm not a car guy.
I realize now that it's so incredibly easy and there's so much money out there, and 200 grand relative to what is out there in circulation and what you can grab.
Okay. His argument for why you should have a Lamborghini, you should have $200,000 for a Lamborghini, is that there's a lot of money in circulation, which is true.
Sorry, address his points, please. It seems like he's making some points. It seems like there is a lot of money out there. Last time I checked, a lot of money. Okay, yeah, just trillions. Yeah, so kind of awkward.
There are trillions of dollars in circulation, but
He's right.
you cannot just
See, you recognize
grab
it.
them. It's not like you're in one of those money boxes where dollars are flying around and you just, all you have to do is grab $200,000.
Just create a system to get everyone a Lambo. Dude, I was just thinking that, dude. We could just, I mean, yeah, a system. We could do a system, actually.
Why aren't people grabbing the 200 grand? Everybody should do that and buy a Lamborghini. Also, if, not financial advice, but if you have $200,000 lying around, I think that you should not invest it in a depreciating asset like a car. You should probably put it somewhere else. But money is abundant to this guy. So that's why you should just waste the cash on a fancy car. It's a status symbol. It doesn't really get you anywhere more effectively than another vehicle could, but this guy insists because why? I don't know. Let's listen.
Now with AI tools that you can leverage like never before,
Hell yeah.
200 grand is chump change. And people will say I'm out of touch with reality.
Yeah. We will say that. He's pretty on the money there.
Suck it, because it's just not true.
It's not true. This is just another one of those gurus who their whole message is, why aren't you rich yet? We've seen them before. We've talked about them countless times. And that's just not how the world works. I think that this guy probably has an abundance of privilege. I would not be surprised if he comes from money. And that is why he has the view on the world that he does, because he's probably been exposed to things that the average person has not. So because he probably has access and privilege that the average person doesn't and is unaware of that. But I could be wrong. I'm still getting to know Sebastian. So here's another video about money, average salary A. But before we get into why you need a Lambo, or else, we have a word from today's sponsor. Also, online, who is sharing your information right now. Thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now back to our very successful boy.
How old are you?
22.
And how much did you make last week?
Last week was like 100K profit.
Dude.
No, that dude has that's a Porsche hat, right? We established that was a Porsche hat last time. Because you can't really tell. That's a Porsche hat. Yes. No. Bro key. Is that a Ferrari hat? Is that actually a Ferrari hat? Are you guys fucking with me? I said a Ferrari hat last time and you said, no, it's Porsche. You have a Porsche. How the fuck do you not know? Be honest, because there's a horse in the middle and it's like kind of fucking with me. So when I see the horse, I'm like, that's the Ferrari horse. No, it's a Porsche. Come on, dude. I literally don't know. I don't know what the fucking... That's not a joke. Porsche logo. Okay, I will remember this, except I won't because I will forget once again because it is totally irrelevant. But why the fuck did they put a horse on it? I don't know why they put a horse on it. It's weird to put a horse on it because Ferrari has the horse also. And to be fair... It's not that weird of me to mistake the two. The Porsche logo just looks like the Ferrari logo, but like, you know, with modifications. Okay? I mean, come on. It's not that weird of me to mistake the two. Anyway, let's continue.
And how much did you make last week?
Last week was like 100K profit.
Dude, it's always these
Just
dudes
drive
on
your
the-
cars on the steering wheel. Bro, it is so dumb to say this. There are certain things that you see every day that basically become a part of your normal life that you never even consider, okay? I know that it's literally on the car. I know. Except I never look at the fucking steering wheel and go, oh, let me analyze the fucking logo. That is silly.
on these podcasts that just say words. They say words and they say numbers. You ask them how they did it and they tell you to buy their course. Where somehow drop shipping is involved, it always is. Or maybe, I don't know what it is, but you're setting up some sort of cheap business and you're taking advantage of people and you've got a Shopify storefront and you're posting screenshots of your PayPal and your Shopify revenue numbers and talking about how easy it is to make cash.
Make this month.
Probably $500,000, maybe a little more.
Profit?
Yeah, profits. It's fucked. I accept that. I accept that amount of money is fucked. But it's like, it's weird because even at that level, dude, we have so much more in the tank.
It's such a short clip. And it's like, okay, I guess you got to listen to the full podcast.
I just paid someone $700K and that person was you. No contract.
No contract? That's just bad business.
Majority of people to do that. I don't know why I trusted you.
I mean, haven't you heard about the Logan Paul thing? He's pretty rich and things can go wrong even when it's rich people doing stuff. Having a contract, not a bad thing.
How many people in this world would completely screw over their friend, maybe even their family, for way less?
Oh, for like 10K,
I had
20K.
$700K. I owed you $1 million at one point, and there was no contract or anything. And I remember, like, I owed you like 140 grand.
This is just a flex, though. It's not good advice. I don't understand why they're flexing. Oh yeah, and we're just playing fast and loose with life-changing amounts of money. It just sounds like you're a child.
Well, the point is like they're claiming. First of all, they're lying. But secondly, they're also like. Not even lying well, but they're lying about how, like, how that's not even life-changing money for them. I think that's the point, right? Like, that's literally... Bro, they don't even have a real podcast, right? Like, I think we established that they don't really have a podcast. They just, like, do a fake... When you're able to throw around six-figure numbers in any conversation, does that give you dopamine? Does that give dopamine? I don't fucking know. Why are you asking me? When I talk about six figures in any capacity, I know I'm going to get shit on, okay? But anyway, on the other hand, though, they actually get praised, I think, or I'm not entirely certain what these guys do.
Child that should be more responsible. But of course, they're the gurus, the 22-year-old, like, finance gurus. We still haven't learned what they do.
Like 2 weeks.
I was going to say like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was just checking the time.
But you would never be like, hey, like, when's the payout? When's the payout? Like, you were just like, yeah, whatever. And then we were hanging out with people, and I brought it up again. I was like, I'm pretty sure I still, yeah, like, I do definitely owe you. And you're like, yeah.
These clips annoy me because they don't have any resolution. Like, and they're so short. Discover TikTok dropshipping. Do not go to this person's course.
Hello. I see that you have discovered Discover TikTok Dropshipping, which is our free course on TikTok dropshipping. This course is taught by two people, me and Sebastian Escueda. So it's the power duo, the two Sebastians.
Oh, So is this guy Sebastian Escada? I guess that makes sense now because they're two Sebastians and they have a podcast. He's a YouTuber, real estate, 5x COVID survivor. What the hell?
Flex, dude. You don't get it. He's flexing, dude. That's fire. That's like him and Jair Bolsonaro, dude. Big time flexers. You know what I mean? Big time flexers.
Why would you put that in your bio? And how did you get COVID 5 times? What are you doing, dude? Are you like licking petri dishes? Like, what is happening? And most importantly, nice guy. That's how you know he's nice, when you have to say it. I think my Twitter bio is the nicest YouTuber, so you know that's I'm joking. Dude, ChatGPT could create this personality. You know what I mean? They always sound the same. Dressing well, getting fit, and being interesting will get you far in life. Spoken like a true NPC. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this guy's nice. I don't want to like rag on him as a person too bad, but I do think that like these messages, maybe I'm too cynical. Maybe I should be like making my millions dropshipping. Okay, future Jarvis here. It's been a few weeks since I recorded this video because I was waiting for a sponsorship thing to happen. And since then, I have noticed some behavior from Sebastian that kind of makes me feel like I would have gone a little bit harder on him. One of those things is that he retweeted Aiden Ross's "There are only two genders" thing, which sucks. And just, yeah, I'm starting to get like weirder vibes than I got during the video while I was like learning about him. So I just want to say that I think this kid, he's an adult man. I think he's misguided. I think he's very
dude. I love when like, you know, TikTok fuckboys say the same exact shit that your granddad is saying, like, and they think it's like this bold, brilliant, brave take. Fucking love that. I'm not a bot. I'm a truth teller.
Misguided. I just wanted to say that in case I don't cover that in the rest of the video. Here it goes. Here's the screenshots. Here's the Shopify screenshots. Since this guy's saying his course is free, I am curious. Usually people are charging money for their course. He does allude to the fact that it might eventually cost money, but maybe I'll take the course while it's free. Maybe I'll discover TikTok dropshipping and become the next big millionaire, making 500 milli. These courses, they tend to just teach you how to find a cheap product that is already mass manufactured. Find a supplier, you create a Shopify storefront, you create some advertising and marketing materials to market the product and make it seem really unique and interesting. And then you blast it into Instagram stories ads and in TikTok ads to try and convert sales. If you can trick a lot of people into thinking they need something, then maybe you get a lot of sales. Maybe you go viral on TikTok with your product and then bada boom, bada bing, 500K ain't nothing to you. You got a Lambo and everybody should have one. You know, that's.
I just don't believe that like these guys could be popping this hard with like these multi-level marketing schemes. I think like at a certain point, you got to realize like they're con men, right? Like this isn't new. It's just super old school con men shit, but they're just doing it on the internet where you can basically con even harder, right? Drop shipping is an MLM. Yeah, no, it's a drop shipping course. I don't think it's a multi-level marketing but it's the same principle behind like scams. Like drop shipping courses, like teaching you how to drop ship courses are scams. They are 100%. It's every single thing that you can learn about drop shipping, which already is like going to most likely make you lose money. Many people just end up losing money. It is a scam. Drop shipping is a scam too. Where for the most part, you get on this and they just like kind of give you like money making tips and it's bullshit. But you just jealous, bro, Lamau. Oh, fucking. No, don't. Oh, come on. I'm unbanning that guy. I come on. And like, he said, you just jealous, bro. Lamau, like, that's a goon. You know what I mean? I need to hear from this fucking guy. That guy's dumb as fuck. Even if he's not joking, I want to hear from him. You know what I mean? I literally make 8K from drop shipping. Good job. I'm happy for you. I don't know if it's sustainable for you, but it's usually not sustainable for a lot of other people. People dump a decent amount of capital in the drop shipping schemes after they literally pay a lot of money specifically to learn about drop shipping. And then they end up not making any money at all. So they just fucking wasted money. What is drop shipping? Apparently, I live under a rock. Drop shipping is a process where you basically go to Alibaba, find a product that you think you could upsell, okay, and then set up a website or a process in which you just literally mark up the price of the product. You just resell shit that you find on Alibaba that you can maybe sell on Amazon Marketplace, on Shopify or Amazon. Okay? That easy. There you go. I just gave you a free drop shipping course. Don't do it. A lot of people end up dumping a lot of fucking money into it for no reason. But it's just you're basically a middleman. It's a similar principle to like people who bought sneakers and resell them or PlayStation 5s. But surprisingly, a worse process overall. It's literally harder to make money drop shipping than it is to just be a fucking sneaker reseller. Like, it is a similar process to scalping. Yes. For those of you who don't know, it basically is scalping, but not really, because there isn't like an insane amount of demand. You're basically creating demand for the same bullshit product that literally every other person is selling on the same website. You just need to make sure that your marketing and your copywriting is like on point, I guess, to make it seem like you are different than the rest of the people selling the exact same shit. I think the shit that I like is when people find stuff at Goodwill and Salvation Army and upcycle them or modify them in some way. I love TikToks like that, like a little bit of restoration, you know what I mean? I love that shit. You know what I mean? You find like an old ass you find an old ass furniture on Craigslist, restore it a little bit, and then actually put a little bit of labor into it, like legitimate labor into it, add some value, and then resell it. And I think that's great. I used to sell resale shoes with them white boys. Used to buy every drop. Yeah. My buddy and I build a platform to auto buy items on Amazon, then resell on eBay, but we didn't hold inventory and it was automated as fuck. However, the server cost to automate it all and the time I spent coding it, not fucking worth it. Plus, you got to build up a good amount of feedback to sell decent on eBay. This other drop shit is stupid as fuck, in my opinion. Yeah. The anti-thrift flippers are going to get your ass. Wait, there's anti-thrift flippers? Really? Why? Wait, what? How the fuck do you get mad at that? Taking items others could possibly use? Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, okay? That's insane. What are you, a capitalist or something? What do you mean, bro? What the fuck? There is value in finding shit that other people have discarded, okay? And then making them nicer and then selling them. You're literally doing labor in some capacity as well. That's so weird. Some people call thrift reselling gentrifying. Some people claim that you're destroying vintage clothing. That is wild. I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen that one video. I've seen that one fucking video. Oh yeah, my mom makes new clothes out of upcycled vintage clothes and towels and fabrics. Reselling is way different than drop shipping. I've also made a good amount from reselling vintage stuff but didn't upcycle it, just cleaned it up a bit. Yeah. Taking items from the poor to sell it back to them for higher prices is crazy. Yeah, that is like the literal... Taking poor people's clothes and reselling it is dog shit and is not a job. Taking items from the poor to sell it back to them for higher prices is crazy. Yeah, no, you're absolutely wrong on that. No, you're just wrong. You're literally getting... You're trying to find a way to get mad at like literally another form of reducing and reusing and recycling. That's crazy. Taking from the poor? What the fuck do you mean taking from the poor? What? I don't know how anyone could be opposed to thrift flipping considering the vast majority of donated clothes ends up in landfills. Yeah, dude, shut the fuck up. I hate first world dumb motherfuckers, dude. First world Zoomer, shut the fuck up challenge, okay? Impossible difficulty. You will never tell me. You will never be able to convince me that I'm sorry, you can't get the fucking luxury item that you perceived this person to be stealing from you, okay? Because they arrived at it before you did. Plus they cleaned it up and now, or maybe even made something cooler out of it and now they're fucking selling it. Yeah, get another piece of luxury fabric that you find then, I guess, at the thrift store. There's no downsides to fucking recycling, okay? No matter how much you try to turn around and flip the narrative and act like, oh my God, this is so incredibly fucked up, you're literally crazy. Because they hoard all the clothing from low-income thrift stores and sell it at exorbitant prices on Depop. Fuck those people. Their reason clothing at thrift stores costs hundreds of dollars. Buying is problematical because someone else could have bought it. Yeah, what? Like, as someone who thrifts, I get why people get annoyed when... look, I've been thrifting for many, many, many years, okay? Many years. Way before I was, like, actually fucking rich or anything like that. I was thrifting for a very long fucking time, okay? And I will explain it to you like this. Over the course of many years, I started seeing thrift stores, whether it be Goodwill or any other kind of fucking thrift places, actually turn into a charlatan factory where, like, shit that you would normally buy for $1, okay, turned into shit that you would buy for $50 out of it all of a sudden, okay? That sucks. I understand why that's frustrating. But the only thing I will say to that is get good, okay? Literally, there's nothing you can do about it other than the fact that, like, the capitalist machine is going to keep fucking churning. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. That is the same exact principle, though. You feel like you found something beautiful and people just fucking stole that from you and made it expensive. And it's very, very frustrating. I understand. I have no solution for it other than you can't stop it. Okay? And the reality is that there are still, plenty of thrifted finds that you can get into. They're mad at the concept of recycling. It sucks because of capitalism, though. Yeah, like, I've been thrifting for 25 years. Okay, Panani man. No, I mean, it's true, though. I have been. I've been thrifting for a very long time. But the unfortunate reality of capitalism that it literally bastardizes, like, buying used clothing. I remember a time when people used to look at me like I'm a fucking psycho because I would buy secondhand clothing. People were like, what the fuck? You're wearing someone else's clothes? They could have died in it. And I was like, I don't give a shit. This shirt is something I would never be able to purchase by any other means. And it looks fucking fire. Like, that's how long I've been fucking thrifting for, okay? But, there's nothing, there's not really much you can do about it. Luckily, there's so much. There are so many fucking clothes that are being made, that are being thrown out, that are being sent to Goodwill, that you can ultimately find something regardless. Okay? I think people forget that clothes in malls are also worn by people. Yeah, but it's not the same. And Goodwill throws a shit ton of clothes too, by the way. You are only talking about coastal thrift stores? Well, yeah, I've only lived in fucking New York, or not New York, New Jersey, by Coastal Elite, and California. I've only thrifted in places like that. Well, that's not true. I've thrifted in Oklahoma. I've thrifted in plenty of other places, actually. And it was fire. The shit I got in Oklahoma was infinitely better than anywhere else. Oh my God, it was so sick. I still wear a lot of those shirts, like the Harley Davidson shirts and shit from Oklahoma. But yeah, it's sick. It's actually sick. But regardless, no matter what happens, like, I think people fundamentally misunderstand that this is like ultimately still recycling and like marketing, I guess, a product. And there's always going to be more and more and more shirts, no matter what. How the fuck do we get here? What's your take on the Salvation Army and the controversies that have been surrounding it over the years? I don't fucking know. I don't really care. Yeah, what are they like? They're anti-gay, right? Weird. I don't donate to them. I promise there's thrift price gouging on people that go into warehouse before they ever hit the local shops. Toronto thrift is like 5x over the last 10 years because of these agreements. It sucks. Yeah, no, I know. But like ultimately, a person that is like literally going to a fucking thrift store, finding an item that is actually really valuable at a cheaper fucking price, okay? And then cleaning up the item itself, marketing it, and putting it up on like Depop or whatever, is still doing like is still doing something. You know what I mean? They sourced it for you. They're providing some level of service for you, whether you like to admit it or not. And that's what I mean. And that person is usually not necessarily a fucking super caked up, incredibly wealthy individual either. You know? But I know a lot of people consider them landlords, which I think is pretty funny. Anyway, let's get back to the original video that we were watching because I got to leave soon.
You start a podcast with a friend who has the same name as you, and now you're selling your course. It's the circle of life. Typically how these things work is that you get into a course and then they ask you to pay more money to like get additional services. There's also pyramid scheme element of things where they give you the products that you're supposed to sell, and then you're getting all your friends and family involved. It doesn't seem like that's where this is going, but that is definitely a way that it can go. A lot of these scams kind of start the same way. Now that we know that these guys are drop shippers, which I wish they weren't always drop shippers. You know what I mean? Because they speak so confidently about business and stuff like that. And then they always kind of have they always do the same thing. They've always got a course. They're always drop shipping.
How much are you going to make this month?
Probably $500,000, maybe a little more.
Profit?
Yeah, profits. It's fucked. I accept that. I accept that amount of money is fucked.
So watching this back now, why are we watching a clip where this feels like it's built for a TikTok clip? Because it's like he's interviewing this guy, but this is the guy that he runs his business with. So it's like, how old are you? Sebastian, we have the same name. We've been in business together. What do you mean, how old am I? I've owed you $1 million last week. Also, not everybody has the position in life, especially.
I agree with this, by the way. As a vintage seller, my value comes as a curator. I spent a long time learning what people enjoy. I mean, that part seems like silly, but ultimately, you are correct. You are providing a service. You're not only curating, but you're also sourcing these things. These are things that like are not 100% a given going to be sold. Like you have no guarantee that like the clothing that you fucking found is actually going to be sold. It very likely could end up in a fucking landfill, or worse, in the hands of a K-pop stylist. And then Jungkook is wearing it, but it has a picture of a penis, and it says like some weird shit on it in English. And I'm like, Jungkook, don't do that. Stay away from the t-shirt, please. Okay? No, don't do it. And I'm yelling. I'm like, no. Nice petite bourgeois. Ew, petite bourgeois apologia. They are still petite bourgeois. It doesn't suck for us, though. It sucks for actual poor people. They are still petite bourgeois. Dog, how is this different than a man buying thrift and selling in your pseudo thrift $50? Selling it in your pseudo thrift $50 a pot? Wait, what? Dude, I'm sorry. If you want to have like a super hardcore, if you want to have like a super hardcore ethical conversation about like the ethics of fucking thrifting in this regard, that people are doing this, you're TikTok brained. I can sense that this is absolutely a TikTok conversation. This 1,000,000% started on TikTok and ended on TikTok. In the real world, if you describe this to a person, okay, they would laugh at you like an adult with a fully developed human brain that doesn't go on TikTok all that much, or when he goes on TikTok, he watches like funny restoration videos or whatever. They would literally laugh at you. You want to know why? Because it's a laughable concept. Like, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, there are still an infinite amount of fucking clothes that arrive at the Goodwills and at the Salvation Armies, okay? Like, if we lived in a world where the clothing supply was somehow finite, okay, and that all of a sudden we had eviscerated global capitalism, and, like, there wasn't a concept called fast fashion, or there wasn't a concept where, like, you know, there's so many new pieces of clothing being churned out non-fucking stop, right? And like all of a sudden, everyone's fucking naked if the poor don't find the best possible piece of clothing at a fucking thrift store, it's over for them. You know what I mean? It's done. Maybe then I can understand the argument that you're making, but like it literally doesn't stop. Like the clothing doesn't stop, the churn doesn't stop. Go to the fucking Goodwill, okay? Go to the Goodwill in your neighborhood. You're not going to see the same shit every week. You want to know why? Because motherfuckers are still donating clothes. Because motherfuckers are still buying clothes. Okay? So the idea of like yelling at a group of individuals who are literally sourcing fucking pieces of clothing and then basically adding additional labor on top of the sourcing by like cleaning it up, sprucing it up, maybe making it a little bit nicer, and then putting it on a marketplace to sell it, especially when that dude is not necessarily fucking wealthy themselves either, okay? Like, but they're adding value. You've lost the plot by the largest of margins. I highly recommend, like high key, absolutely want you to just, you know, go back, take a deep breath, and try to reconfigure your values, okay? TikTok brain rotted Gen Zers that fetishize being poor is so fucking weird. Yeah, I don't understand it. Especially because like half the time the people that are doing that are not necessarily caked up either. Also, chat's acting like the racks are left dry because of resellers, which is absolutely not the case. That's what I mean. Poor people don't care if you took all the good clothes. Yeah, that's like I'm not saying that like poor people shouldn't be able to find like nice clothing or whatever, but I think it's like you have created a fantasy in your mind. I get why you're angry at it because I have been in your shoes, okay? Where like I would get mad. Like it's like me getting mad when fucking big clothing became more fashionable. And then I used to get mad at like a motherfucker who's a size medium wearing my fucking size clothing so I can't fit into anything. Like I'm mad at that. Right? I'm like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You're wearing my shit, okay? But like also at the same time, I know that that's an insanely toxic, insanely narcissistic, insanely fucking idiotic thing to get upset about. But of course, back then, I didn't have TikTok, okay? I had the Zoomer fuckboy haircut, but TikTok wasn't around, so I could make a video about how it's actually unethical for skinny motherfuckers to buy the XXLs because it's now fashionable, allowing me to literally not find fucking clothes at the thrift store. Okay? It's just like, your brain is broken. At a certain point, you gotta realize, like, oh shit, the content I'm consuming is like genuinely changing the way I view the world. Like that kind of shit is like significantly more understandable and even more ethical than like putting a bot up so you can buy up all the fucking supplies and price gouge it for like whatever new item that's coming out. You know what I mean? I love how you're wearing this while wearing a suit that's too small. Doesn't matter. I still look good in it, okay? It feels patronizing and infantilizing as well because there's always people saying this on behalf of other hypothetical people who are upset about that. Not to mention that thrifting in a way is a luxury. You have the time to be able to dig through items. Poor people are often more likely to shop at somewhere like Walmart. I mean, no, those are people who are poor themselves who think that like they could have found like a sick ass vintage Gucci bag or something, but now it's on Depop. That's what it is. I know what it is because I've fucking been there. Like I know. Okay? It's people who don't have a lot of money but who want like luxury items, okay? And I get that. It is a perfectly fucking understandable desire. Okay? But like, if you have never been to a thrift store, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it feels like you've never been to a thrift store, I think. Because you're like imagining that people are like taking items that you are supposed to get. Luxury items? Yes, luxury items. No, I don't think thrifting itself is necessarily a luxury, but yes, when you thrift, the things that we're talking about are vintage luxury clothing. In a way, it's a luxury piece of clothing. Let's be fucking real, okay? It doesn't have to be a brand that you consider to be a high-priced brand or whatever, but that's what it is. When you find clothing that was made in the United States of America from a brand that no longer sources their fucking clothing from the United States of America any longer, and you see that tag, that's still technically a form of luxury clothing. Don't say so out of touch that, shut the fuck up. I've been fucking thrifting in stores before you were born. I gave birth to you. Put some respect on my fucking name. I am your dad. I fucked your mom. I don't think anybody's fucking mad that you found a Hanes t-shirt and upcycled it or thrifted the Hanes t-shirt and like are selling it for $5. No one's buying that $50. No one's buying that shit anyway. No, you're mad because you found something super sweet, okay? You found like a old school vintage fucking Chanel purse or some shit, or like shoes like that, okay, boots. And that's what happened. Like you think that you were supposed to find that yourself and someone else got to it before you. And that is inherently, luxurious items that you want to get for cheap, which is an understandable desire and you deserve it 100%. Could the same argument be made about Airbnb then? Like a person takes a house, which are plenty of, and makes it nice and then charges more for it. I'm not saying they're the same thing at all. Obviously, clothing is a commodity and housing should not be. But isn't this the same argument? Please don't yell at me. I'm here to learn. Why would I yell at you? You already diminished your argument before I even fucking retaliated because you already admitted to it. Yes. You already personally know why your argument is not correct. You mentioned it. Because here's the thing. Okay? People are not upset because thrift stores are bare. People are upset because all the nice shit is getting fucking stolen from the thrift stores by people who want to sell it at a higher markup. If you ever were to make an argument that like thrift stores are going bare, you are delusional. You've never been to a fucking thrift store, and I don't know what to tell you. Okay? That's why I'm saying there's an element of luxury there. Whereas, like, if you can't find, you know, a Chanel purse, you can have a different purse, right? But if you can't get a fucking house, you're dead. You can't thrift the fucking house. It's not a luxury, man. Wait, what? It literally isn't luxury. You can't say fashion is capitalistic in and of itself and then go, it literally isn't luxury in the same 30-second sequence. Not all clothing is the same. Okay? People are not upset that people are, you know, taking fucking Hanes t-shirts. Okay? Dude, a tie-dye sweatshirt is for $100. No, exactly. It's fucking bullshit. Get mad at the fucking stores, not necessarily the Depop Andy is what I'm saying. Luxury does not have to be, when I say luxury, I don't mean expensive. People on TikTok need to moralize their inconveniences, otherwise their suffering is trivial and they can't handle that. That's the take. That's always the take. That is the greatest summary of the Zoomer existence. It's like literally, this minor inconvenience is actually a consequence of a much larger systemic problem, and it is immoral. It is by immoral people that are destroying my livelihood and my regular means of existence. I think it's mainly an issue if when people are snatching up like a low amount of cheap winter clothes or shoes or stuff people need cheap access to, there is never going to be a situation where you go to a fucking Goodwill and there is not enough fucking snow jackets or whatever. You're like looking for a possible hypothetical scenario. That is not a thing that has ever happened. That's what I mean. It's not a thing that's not a thing that happens. There is an endless, infinite supply of clothing. It is at the heart of the fucking problem. I am not we need to scale down Andy, okay? Mr. Eco-socialism in the building. But holy fuck, dude. You're currently attacking one form of like, you know, recycling and reusing shit. I'm not a degrowth guy. Don't call me a degrowth guy, but this is in some ways a degrowth guy. Okay? It is in some ways a degrowth guy take. Stop. I'm not a degrowth guy. I work in production at the thrift store. This is not a thing that happens. The resellers are not touching the Walmart and Target ski coats and sneakers. They want Air Jordans and shit. Exactly.
Especially in their early 20s, to drop everything and start a business that has no guarantee of succeeding. So I just want to call that out also. Okay, here we go. Someone said, bro, Def grew up in a very wealthy family. And his response was, Google me, buddy. Came from the mud. All right. I went from $1,000 to $8 million. My story. All right, I'm curious. 4 levels to getting rich in 2023. There's the red pill. There's the blue pill.